Imagine a young child facing relentless bullying and abuse at school simply because of who his parents are. A nightmare that no parent should have to endure. But this isn't just a story. It's a real-life case that shook a community and raised serious questions about equality, protection, and justice in our schools. Stick around, because this settlement reveals layers of heartache and controversy that might surprise you. A federal civil rights lawsuit, initially reported by the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, has been resolved through an out-of-court agreement. The Milwaukee Public Schools, MPS, board agreed to pay $295,000 to settle claims that a principal had mistreated a student due to his parents' sexual orientation. This development comes after months of tension and legal proceedings. The case, filed in March 2024, involved the parents of a student at Milwaukee French Immersion School. They accused Kasongo Kalumbula, who was then an assistant principal, of subjecting their son to years of mistreatment starting from first grade. The allegations paint a troubling picture of targeted harassment, including verbal assaults, unfair disciplinary actions, and even a physical incident where the boy was reportedly shoved against a wall. But here's where it gets controversial. How could such behavior go unchecked in a public school system? Mediation talks on September 5 led to an agreement, and the federal case was officially closed on September 8. The MPS board voted to approve the settlement during their October 30th monthly meeting, a session that was even recorded and shared online for public viewing. Nowadays, Kalumbula holds the position of principal at Mary McLeod Bethune Academy, another school within the MPS district. This promotion raises eyebrows about accountability in educational leadership. Diving deeper into the lawsuit, what exactly were the claims? The parents and their son sought compensation for the emotional and psychological damage from years of alleged verbal and physical abuse by Kalumbula. The complaint detailed how the mistreatment began in 2018 when the boy was just a first grader and persisted over time. Specific examples included Kalumbula reportedly telling the student that his parents would burn in hell, imposing excessively harsh punishments, and in one chilling incident, confining the boy in a dark room for hours in spring 2019. To make matters worse, the allegation states that Kalumbula threatened to kill the child if he revealed what happened, leaving the boy too frightened to confide in his parents right away. It's heartbreaking to think of the fear a young child must have felt in such a vulnerable situation. The claims didn't stop there. The lawsuit asserted that Kalumbula failed to shield the student from peer bullying related to his gay parents. For instance, in fall 2021, another student with a known history of homophobic behavior physically assaulted the boy by pushing him to the ground. When one parent confronted Kalumbula at school and disputed his version of events, the principal allegedly shouted, "No queer is going to speak to me like this." This not only highlights potential neglect, but also sparks debate about whether such language reflects broader biases in our institutions. As a result of these experiences, the boy reportedly suffered significant trauma and anxiety, requiring ongoing psychiatric treatment. To put this in perspective for beginners, imagine the long-term impact on a child's mental health. Anxiety disorders can affect school performance, relationships, and overall well-being, often needing professional support to heal. And this is the part most people miss. Despite multiple complaints from the parents, fellow staff, and other families, MPS leadership reportedly took no disciplinary steps against Kalumbula. In fact, they promoted him to acting principal at Milwaukee French Immersion School before he moved to his current role at Bethune Academy in 2021. This raises critical questions about how schools handle reports of misconduct and whether systems prioritize student safety over career advancement. The family faced additional hardship when they chose to remove their children from the school before the end of the 2021-22 academic year. They encountered backlash on social media where some teachers and parents blamed them for Kalumbula's departure. It's a stark example of how online communities can sometimes amplify conflicts, turning personal grievances into public shaming. On the defense side, attorneys for Kalumbula and the school district responded in May 2024 by filing an answer to the complaint. They argued that the lawsuit lacked merit and that the plaintiffs had no right to damages. Specifically, they claimed the conduct attributable to the responding defendants did not constitute any violation of a cognizable constitutional right, and this action must be summarily dismissed. They also suggested that any harm was partly due to the plaintiff's own actions or omissions. This counter-argument introduces a controversial angle. Is it possible that some incidents were misinterpreted, or does it downplay the seriousness of the allegations? It invites us to ponder the balance between personal accountability and institutional responsibility. For more details, you can reach reporter Kelly Arsenault at 920-213-3721 or email carsenault@gannett.com. She's also active on X, formerly Twitter, at @AsenoKelly. What do you think? Does this settlement truly address the harm done, or is it just a way to avoid deeper scrutiny? Should schools have stricter policies for reporting and acting on bias-related incidents? Share your thoughts in the comments. Do you agree with the board's decision, or do you see this as a missed opportunity for reform? Let's discuss. Facebook, Twitter, email.